Well, this week of June 18th, the Dow has ended its worst week since October of 2020, and it makes us wonder what's going on with the stock market. Is this the correction or the crash that we've been worried about in the stock market? Are your investments safe? And what type of stocks should you invest in this downturn? First of all, I got to give a shout out to Rob J, who posted this comment right here. Shout out to you. Rob basically said, hey, can you do a video on what's going on with the stock market? It's been sucking major butt lately. Well, as I pull up my portfolio, I have to agree that yes, it has. So I'm breaking down the two things that I think are driving down the market this week, and will it continue? Are your investments safe? But first of all, if you're into personal finance content, if you're into crushing debt and building wealth and living your ultimate sweet life, join the Sweet Life family, subscribe today. All right, there are a few key points that I see that drove down this stock market trend. Now, of course, none of this is financial advice. This is my own opinion based on the research that I'm doing. Do your own research before you invest in anything. But if I'm looking at this, there's a couple things that we need to discuss. Two things along with the inflation worries that might be up to no good when it comes down to the stock market issues. This then leads us to which stocks may continue to grow, which is something that I think you need to consider when it comes down to your long-term investments. So I pull up my Webull account and I see that my investments were down over $300 on Friday alone. And of course, for some that might not be a whole lot of money. For others, it might sound like a lot. But my $20,000 portfolio has now officially dropped below the 20K mark. It's now back to that $19,400. And with a lot of my stocks taking most of the beating, as most of yours may have as well. Even retirement accounts going down. Yeah, this week has absolutely sucked for the stock market. But I'll tell you guys, the best thing about this is I'm still up on the Dow Jones Industrial Trend. If you look at this right here, the green line represents my portfolio in Webull. The yellow line represents the Dow Jones. So as long as I'm above there, even though we're both on a little bit of a slide downward, if I stay above that, I'm feeling good. I want you to have the same experience. So the very first of two things that we're going to talk about that I think really is driving down the stock market is the witching hour, what we are going to call the quadruple witching hour. And that basically means that this past Friday, June 18th, we saw a couple things happen. First, the expiration of single stock options. Second, single stock futures. Third, stock index options. And fourth, stock index future. When those four things expire, typically on the third Friday of the month, that could be called the witching hour. So that quadruple witching day in the stock market happens when all four of those asset classes expire simultaneously. And typically this only happens on the third Friday of March, June, September, and December of every year. And guess what? It's June, and that is part of where I think may have driven a little bit of this downturn. So why do we call it the witching hour though? Well, in folklore, witching hour, of course, meaning that was the time when supernatural beings are said to roam the earth, bringing havoc, bad luck to those unfortunate enough to encounter them. So following the week of a quadruple witching, a lot of times we see the S&P 500 respond to that, and guess what happens? That exhausts the stock market, therefore bringing a little bit of a correction dip. My God, what is this? What production value is this? What are we doing on this video? But quadruple witching doesn't always mean that the stock market is volatile. It's not like a day of a crash or a recession or the Great Depression or something like that, but it could be something to keep an eye on. If I look back and we look to March of this past year, we can see that there was a little bit of a drop when it had its quadruple witching hour. Look at that. About 1%, we'll call it. But compare that to this week though, we're down 3.21%. That's obviously a lot more. So what's driving that down? I think there's much more than just the expiration of options and index futures. I'll give witching maybe 1%. What is up with the other 2%? That's what leads us to number two of what I think's going on this week, which is really the inflation worry as well as hawkishness. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about a bird, a hawk. What is that all about? Stay tuned. We're going to get into it. The St. Louis Federal Reserve President Bullard went on record to say he is considered to be hawkish right now by saying the Fed should consider interest rate increases as early as late 2022. Now, keep in mind, the Fed is already kind of focused on 2023 as an option to start increasing the interest rates. Why do you want to increase the interest rates? Because you want to focus on keeping inflation at a decent level. Typically, we see inflation raised from anywhere from 1 to 3 to 4%. If it gets higher than that, that's where things can get a little bit nerve-wracking, and the Fed responds in many different ways with the U.S. Central Bank. So when we talk about inflation hawks, like hawking, that typically means that they're in favor of increasing those interest rates. Now, keep in mind, this also does mean mortgage-backed securities, which if you haven't already refinanced your mortgage, that could be something to consider, because this could be a dance partner situation where you have the interest rates going up in the central bank and the mortgages typically follow along. Either one's going to lead the way or the other one's going to lead the way in this dance. But that could also mean that mortgage interest rates would continue to go back up from their lows of 2 to 2.5 to 3%. Now, this does bring us to the inflation rates of June 2021, and I think it's really important to keep an eye on this. I'll include a link to that website down in the description so you can check it out and keep an eye on it for yourself. Right now, inflation is a little bit of a scary high at 5%. Compare that to the last couple of years, it hasn't been anywhere near 5%, but we're seeing now with, of course, the stimulus package and all of the other things coming into fruition, that is driving the inflation. We're printing more money, things are happening, driving that inflation rate up. Now, the last time we saw a 5% inflation rate was during the summer of 2008. And if you know what was happening back in 2008 and 2009, if you're old enough, this is something that we definitely need to keep an eye on. And I think what happens with the Federal Reserve, with the US Central Bank, and really honestly with the federal government, is ensuring that we don't end up back into a bubble, an issue, a major correction like we did back in 2008 and 2009. Some of you that remember those days, of course, the stock market was a complete disaster along with everything else that was going on. That was the last time we saw a 5% inflation rate. We want to make sure that we keep that lower, and these talks of being hawkish, of course, will drive a little bit of a concern in the stock market, because of course the Fed not backing the mortgage-backed securities does lead us to a little bit of a concern of saying, okay, I'm going to start pulling out, and especially for those long-term investors that might want to start getting a little bit of profit, that could be what's going on. And of course, when that happens, the stock market does respond with a little bit of a correction. Now, we are also starting to see a push again for the growth stocks. So if you're invested in things like electric vehicles, if you're invested into technology and other similar sectors, you may see a little bit of a bump based on this past week and also based on something ongoing. So those are the two things to keep your eye on when it comes down to the news. What's going on with the inflation, what's going on with the Federal Reserve, what's going on with mortgage-backed securities, and what type of impact does that continue to have on the stock market or not. But the big question, should you worry? Should you pull out? Should you sell? Well, if you're a regular viewer of my channel, which I hope you are, you'll know exactly what I'm going to say. But if you aren't, I'm going to say this. Worrying is for losers. And I mean financial losers. We don't want to be that. I don't want you to be that. It goes back to this awesome graph that I like to look at, that you all have access to, even on Google if you want to do that, anytime that I have a little bit of worry sneak into my brain. The graph is from 2020, and it's the pandemic hit. If you bought into the stock market right before this time, of course it's going to feel terrible, because right after the lockdown, you lost about 34% of your value. You felt like crap, and you were probably debating, should I sell and cut my losses? But if you held on for a year, you're now up 7% on your investment. That dip, that pain, and that agony made up for those losses if you just held on. Now, same thing could be for the recession of 2008. Let's say you bought back in 2008, and if you did, right at the top, you're down about 40% on your money. And of course, the recession took a little bit of a longer time to recover, but if you held on, you went positive in 2012, and then if you compare that to now, you're up 159% on your money, on your investment. And especially depending on if you did single stocks or certain securities, you're up even more than that. So the key point here, guys, don't jump off of a roller coaster in the middle of the ride. I guarantee you're gonna get hurt. But never ever invest money that you're not willing to part with into the stock market, because the last thing you want is to be worried a dip comes and you need to sell to pay next month's rent. I don't want that for you. I want you to live your ultimate sweet life. So if you're looking for how do I make enough money that I don't have to get trapped up because I have a lot of bills, but I want to make extra money to invest in the stock market, check out these side hustle ideas that you can do starting today to make $100 or more per day. Also, check out this playlist for more investor tips and tricks. And until next time, we'll see you on the next video.